It's time to once again talk about weight. Don't freak out, I'm not talking about your weight, you're looking just fine. I'm talking about your bike's weight. Now a few months ago I uploaded a video about adventure bike weight and compared the weight of my DRZ to some of the other popular brands on the market, comparing its weight with and without luggage. Now this has got me thinking lately, is this weight actually the weight of the bike I need to be concerned about? Well, I'm once again today in the shed, armed with the scales, so let's go and find out. G'day Two Wheel Adventurers, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well as usual. Now firstly guys, something that I'd normally do at the end of my videos, but I'm going to bring it up here at the start. If you aren't subscribed to the channel guys, I'd love you to stick around, so please hit that subscribe button if you want to see all of my future videos that are coming up. I have noticed lately that a lot of my viewers aren't subscribed to the channel, so I want you guys to stick around, join the channel, be a part of all this, and it helps the channel out massively, and I really appreciate it. Now with that all said guys and out of the way, if you are a subscriber to the channel, you've probably seen my earlier video from this year where I weighed my DRZ here with and without luggage, just to give myself a bit of a guide and see how much weight I've added to the bike with all the mods since I got it brand new, and as well to give me a bit of a guide of how much weight I'm adding with all my luggage when I head out on those big adventures. Now since doing that video guys, it's really got me thinking, how much does the full weight of this bike, or any bike, your bike at home, how much does that full weight of the bike actually really matter? And what I mean when I say that guys is, how often does the full weight really come into play and we really need to lift that weight? I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not out on the tracks trying to bench press this bike above my head or shoulder press it above my head. It just doesn't really happen where you're in a situation where the total weight comes into play. Now I'm not sitting here trying to say that the weight of the bike doesn't matter at all. It definitely does. The heavier the bike, the harder time you're going to have out on the trails, but I really don't think the total weight comes into play that often, at least not from my experience anyway. So some of the common times when we as riders might deal with the weight of our bikes could be something as simple as being out on the track, you get off your bike, you open the gate and you wheel your bike through, you just push it through. You could even do that home in your garage, you're just pushing your bike around the garage to move it to get to something else. Another situation that could be at home or out on the tracks as well is just maneuvering the back end of the bike around. You could be stuck in a rut or a mud hole of some sort and you want to just get your back wheel out, or even just around your garage you might want to lift your back wheel out and spin your bike. Now the most common time that we as riders are going to deal with the weight of our bikes guys is when you're out on the tracks and you have a crash or you have a tip over. You've got no other option but to lift your bike back up so you can get on it and keep on going. Now I'm no physicist guys, obviously, but I can pretty much guarantee that if you're lifting your bike up from its side, it's not going to be the total weight of the bike. The weight's going to be spread over a couple of different points. Now here in the shed today, I'm doing it on completely flat surface, perfect conditions to test it out, but the weight will be spread over the front tire, the back tire, and the handlebars here, or bark busters in my case. But that could be completely different if you're out on the tracks. You might be resting on a rock somewhere else, on one of your foot pegs or something like that. If the ground's not perfectly flat, your handlebars could be sitting higher or lower than your tires. So if your handlebars are lower than your tires, there's obviously going to be more weight pushed through that point. But if it's the other way and your handlebars are sitting above your tires, well, the weight is obviously going to be a bit lighter for you to pick up. There's plenty of variables in this. I know this test isn't going to be 100%, that's the answer, but it's going to give me a rough idea of what I'm actually lifting up. I might even try and put something under the tires to lift them up a bit higher, put some more weight through the handlebars there and see how much of a difference it actually makes. We'll see what I can find around the shed to chuck in there and do that as a bit of a test. But enough of the chit chat here guys, that's just a quick explanation of what I'm actually doing here in the shed and why I'm really doing it. Now I almost forgot to mention guys, for those of you who haven't seen the other video where I weighed the total weight of the bike, 159.3 kilograms. That's what this bike weighed as it is now. Probably a little bit less at the moment. I've checked the fuel and I'm probably a couple of litres lower than I was in that test. So maybe give or take a kilo or two, but it'll be pretty close. It'll be accurate enough to give me the reading that I want. But I thought I'd make mention of that before I go telling you how much it weighs to pick it up if you can't gauge it off how much the bike actually weighs. So get that out of the way. Time to lay it down and get the scales underneath her. I hope I don't leak any fuel on the ground. Hopefully this cap on the top holds everything in there. Well, let's do this. There we go. Well, we've got no fuel leaking out yet, so I think we're pretty good for that. I did just move the rubber matting that was underneath the bark busters here. I didn't know if the softness of the rubber might affect the scales here, but that's out of the way, so we should get the most accurate reading we can. Just quickly check that these scales are actually working, which they are. All right, let's get it underneath and see how much weight is underneath this bark buster. 38.8 kilograms. Wow. That is a lot less than I thought it was going to be. Considering this is 159.3 kilograms, obviously there is weight sitting on the rear tire, front tire. I suppose the pegs are on the ground here as well. So there's weight through the peg as well. I didn't know that would be touching the ground, but that is on the ground too. But only 38.8 kilos here on the Barkbuster itself. I might see if I can get something that's up a bit higher where I can get the scale on the Barkbuster without anything except the tires touching the ground. That will probably give me a better accurate reading of how much weight I'm actually lifting from this side, because I don't think that's correct. There'd be a bit of weight transfer through that foot peg as well. So I'll lift it up and see how it feels, but then I'll try and get something to put underneath the scales here to lift it up just a little bit more. Is it 40 kilos or 38 kilos? I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. Stand by, I'll find something to put underneath this and get it up a little bit higher. So I've just grabbed a few random things from around the shed, a couple extra rubber floor mats, a little screw kit thing that's underneath here, and then plank of timber on top, and then the scales. That's just enough height to keep those foot pegs up and not any weight being transferred there. So I'll turn the scale on and hold these handlebars up straight and see what we get. There we go, they're on. What's that? 58.9, a little bit. Oop, make sure everything doesn't fall off. So definitely a bit more added weight once you get that weight off the foot pegs there. About 60 kilos, so that's more than a third of the total weight of the bike there that you've got to lift up. Kind of makes sense, I guess. We got the weight spread between the two tires and the handlebars here. There is a lot of weight up top with all the fuel and the engine here in the middle, so about 60 kilos seems about right. I'll quickly work that out as a percentage of the total weight of the bike. 36.9% of the total weight of the bike. That's probably about right. A little bit over a third of the weight there at the moment. Pretty happy with that. Reasonably accurate. Now the next one that I want to try and do, if I can do it, if I can make it work, I want to try and lift the rear wheels up and then get these handlebars down as low as I can, just to simulate what it would be if I was on an off-camber section. It happened to be in the high country actually. I crashed into a bit of a ditch and the top of the bike was down lower, the handlebars were down lower, so the bike felt a lot heavier. So I'll see what I can find around to lift the back tire and the front tire up and see if we can do that one. Well, I better be quick with this one because it's actually leaking fuel now, so get these underneath, see what we can get here somehow. If anyone walked into this shed right now, be wondering what the heck I am doing. And that didn't really change anything anyway because the tires have sunk back down now, but that is about 58 kilos again, so not really any different. So does it change anything? Maybe I have to get it up even higher than that to do, but that's about all I can do for now. I can't lift that up anymore, and I'm gonna have to get this up because I'm dripping fuel everywhere. And now my bike's trapped in the tires. Well, that's enough mucking around the shed for one day for me, guys. Still gonna have to get those tires out from underneath the bike and clean up all this fuel that I've spilled on the ground, but that's for future Josh to worry about. A cool little test to do. Hard to get it accurate, so it's hard to know how accurate I am just then with that, but around 36, 37% of the total weight of the bike is what I was lifting from those handlebars there. So if you guys feel like getting out the shed and doing a similar test on your bike, feel free to comment down below what bike it is and the percentage of the overall weight of the bike you're actually lifting from the handlebars there. I'd be interested to know. I'm sure everyone else out there would be interested to know as well. Just something you don't really think about very often with the weight of the bike, of how much weight you're actually lifting up when the bike is laying down. Thought I'd do that one there, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that one and you got something out of it. If you did, please like the video, guys. And as I said earlier in the video, subscribe if you aren't already to the channel. But thanks as always for watching, guys. I really, really appreciate all the support. I've got a couple of adventures coming up in the next month, so stick around. There should be some cool stuff coming up very shortly. But thanks again for all the support, guys. Ride safe out there in your own two-wheel adventures. See you in the next one.